Hello everyone, welcome back to the lecture series in Python. We have already seen that list are mutable data structure. That means that once we create the list, after that we can perform operations like adding new elements to the list, deleting already existing elements, and then we can even modify the elements which are already present in the list. So in this video, we are going to see the mutable property of the list. First, we will consider how to add elements to a list. In order to add elements to a list, we have three different methods. The first method is append, second is insert, and third one is extend. In case of the append method, we can add only one element at a time, and that element can be added only to the end of the list. And when we go for insert method, it's not that we can add only at the end. We can add at any position by mentioning the index. So here we can add one element at a time at any desired position. And if you consider append and insert methods, both the methods will add only one element at a time. When you want to add more than one element, we can go for the third method, that is called as extend. But the problem with this method is we can add multiple elements at the same time, but not at anywhere. We can add only at the end of the list. Now we will see all these methods one by one with examples. First, we'll focus on the append method. I'm going to create an empty list first with the help of square bracket. So I'm creating list 1. When I print list 1, I'll be getting empty list. I'm going to call the append method. So the syntax is you have to specify in which list you want to insert dot append. So here I want to insert in the list 1. So list 1 dot append, the element to be inserted will be passed as the argument. Initially, I'm going to insert 11 to the list. After that, I'll be inserting 20. Then I'll be inserting 30. So now 3 elements are added to the list. So at the beginning of the list, 10 will be inserted. After 10, 20 will be inserted. Then only 30 will be inserted. So in whichever order we are inserting the elements will be added to the list only in the same order. So we will say that list is a ordered data structure. Now let's print the list after the append is over. So I am printing the entire list. In addition, I'm going to print the length of the list also. When I print the entire list, the elements are printed as list, that is square bracket, 10, 20, 3. If you consider this order is same as the order in which we inserted the elements. And when we print the length of the list, we are getting 3 because there are 3 elements in the list. In this, we have added only integers. In addition to adding simple data type like integer, float, boolean, we can even add collections. So now we will see how to add tuples to the list. When you want to add tuple to the list, again, you can use the append method. So I'm going to add a tuple which contains 2 elements, 40 and 50 to the list. So now, since I want to add in the list 1, I am calling list1.append. Now I need to pass the tuple as the argument. So tuples will be enclosed within parentheses. So inside parentheses, I am now passing 40, 50 as a tuple. Now I am printing the list after this append is over and length of the list also. Now, if you consider already the length of the list is 3, now 40 and 50 is added at the end of the already existing list. So here we have 40 and 50. Even though this contains 2 elements, this is a tuple. So this tuple will be considered as 1 element. So if we count the number of elements in the list, we are now getting 4, not 5. Because the first 3 elements in the list are normal integers and the 4th element in the list is a tuple. Now let's see how to add a list to a list. So now instead of adding the tuple, we are going to add another list to this already existing list. So I'm going to call list1.append. Since I want to add a list, I'm going to write inside square bracket. I'm passing now 60, 70. And I'm printing the list and length of the list. If you consider already the list is having 4 elements. And after the 4 elements, now this list is added as a 5th element. So 60, 70 is added as a list. So now when I print the length of the list, I'm getting 5. So we have seen the append method with the help of which we can add any element. It can be either a simple data type or a collection at the end of the list. Now we will see how we can add elements at any desired position by using the insert function. So in case of the insert function, we can add elements at any desired position. Therefore, we are going to call the function by passing 2 arguments. The first argument is in which position you want to insert the element. That is nothing but the index at which you want to insert the element. And the second argument is the element to be inserted at that particular index. So now this list is having totally 5 elements. I want to insert 80 after this 30. Okay, that means 30 is at the index 2. After this, at the index 3, I want to insert 80. So I'm going to call now list1.insert. The index is 3, 80 is a new element. I'm printing the list. If you consider here, 80 is inserted after 30 at the index 3. And the remaining elements which are present after 30 are shifted one position to the right. So when we print the list, we are getting 10, 20, 30. After 30, 80 is inserted. Whatever appears after this 30, they are shifted one position to the right. Now here we have added a simple integer. Now let's see how to add a collection. That is nothing but string data type I am going to add. So again, at the position that is at the index 3, I am going to insert the string welcome. So I'm passing 2 arguments to the insert function, 3, welcome. It is a string. Now, when I print the new list, I am getting 10, 20, 30. After this 30, at the index 3, welcome will be inserted and all the remaining elements will be shifted one position to the right. The third method for adding elements is extend method. In the previous two methods, at a time, we are able to add only one element. But with the help of the extend method, we can add multiple elements at the same time to the list, but only to the end of the list. Now I am printing the length of the already existing list, list 1. When I print, I am getting the total length as 7. It's nothing but the length of this particular list. After that, I want to add 4 elements to the list at the same time. So I'm going to call the function extend with the help of list1 object. So list1.extend. Since I want to insert many elements, I am going to pass everything as argument to this extend function as a list. So I'm specifying now 11, 22, 33, 40, 44 as a list. Then I'm printing the list and printing the length of the list. If you consider here, after this 60, 70, we are going to add these 4 elements, but they are not added as a list. They are added as individual elements because this function is going to add multiple elements at the same time. So 11, 22, 33, and 44 are 4 elements inserted at the end of the list. When we count now the number of elements in the list, we are getting 11 as a new length. I hope it is clear how we can add elements to the list. Now we will see how to change the value of the already existing list elements. If you want to change the value of the already existing elements, we can do that with the help of the index. For example, let me create a list 1 with 4 elements, 10, 20, 30, and 40. I am printing the list and printing the ID of the list. So here the list is printed. ID of the list is going to print the memory location allocated for this particular list. Now, in this list, instead of this 30, I want to change that value to 5. So I can do that by specifying the index. 30 is present at the index 2. Since I want to change that, I am going to do with the help of list1 of 2 is equal to 5. I am assigning the new value to the already existing index. So now I am printing the new list as well as ID of the new list. When I print the new list, if you consider 30 is changed to 5 and all the remaining elements are written as such. And when we print the ID of the list, you can see that this memory location is same as the previous memory location. So why I am printing the ID is lists are said to be mutable data structure. It means that after creating the list, we can change the value of the elements in the same memory location. So for that only I have printed the memory location. If you consider the memory location is same. So in the same memory, we are able to do whatever modifications we want. And here we have changed only one item. Instead of changing a single item at a time, you can even specify a range of item values and you can change continuous items. That is also possible. Let's see how to change a range of item values. Now in the list, I want to change the elements which are present in the index 0 and 1. So I am going to specify now list1 of 0, 2. Okay, so here when I specify 2, it will not consider 2, it will consider the index before that. So I am going to change 2 elements which are at the index 0 and at the index 1. Since I am changing 2 elements, here I am specifying 2 elements as a list 11, 22. So now what this will be doing is, it will replace the elements present at the index 0 and 1 with 11 and 22. Now I am printing the new list. If you consider at the index 0 and 1, previously we had 10 and 20. Now they have been replaced with 11 and 22. So in this example, we have specified here two indices and we have specified two elements also. It's not that there should be a match. We can even specify more items or less items than the index range. Now we will see how to do that. If you consider here, I have specified list 1 of 0:2. That means I have specified that I am going to change two items, which are at the index 0 and 1. But here I am specifying three elements as a list. So now what's going to happen? If you consider, it will replace the elements at the index 0 and 1 with these three elements. Even though one element is excess, it will add that element also. That is 1, 2, 3 will be added. Okay. And where we are replacing these elements at the index 0 and 1. So whatever is at the index 0 and 1, they will be lost. So 11 and 22 are lost and remaining elements 5 and 40 will be retained as such. So we have now three new elements 1, 2, 3 replacing the elements 11 and 22. Then 5 and 40 are moved after that. Now let's see one more example where we are specifying less number of elements when compared to the range. So here the range is having two indices 0 and 1. So I am trying to replace two memory locations, but I am here specifying only one element. So what's going to happen in this? So it is going to replace the elements which are present in the index 0 and 1. Instead of those two elements, we will get only one element now. So 11 will be there. So that means in this list, instead of 1 and 2, we are going to have only 11. After that, the remaining elements will be retained as such. So we will have 3, 5, and 40. So by means of this, you can specify a range and you can replace the elements in that range with a new list of elements. And this new list can be either equal to the number of elements in the range, or it can be less, or it can be greater. Whatever may be the case, the new elements will be added in the specified range and remaining elements will be retained as such. Now, when I print the length of the new list, I am getting 4. Now, let us consider how to perform the removal operation. In case of remove, we are going to remove the elements from the list, and that can be done in 4 different ways. In 3 ways, we are going to use methods, and in 1 way, we are going to use the keyword. Now, let us focus on these things one by one. First method to remove the element from the list is remove. This method is going to accept an argument and it will remove that value which is present in the list. If the value is not present in the list, this method is going to throw an error. The next method, pop, is going to remove the element by default as a last element from the list. And sometimes we can override this behavior by specifying the index as argument to the list. When we specify the index, it is going to remove the element that is present at that particular index of the list. And the third is a del. This is a keyword. By means of the del keyword, we can specify either one item or more than one item from the list. And by using this, we can even delete the list completely from the memory. And the last method is clear. By means of this method, we are going to empty the list. It is going to clear all the elements from the memory, but the memory will be still existing. That means the list will be still existing in the memory. Only the content will be removed from the memory location. Now let's see these methods with an example. First, list 1 is initialized with 5 elements, 11, 22, 33, 44, and 55. And when list 1 is printed, we are getting that. Now I am going to remove the element 11. So I have to pass that 11 as an argument to the remove method. We are going to call the remove method with the help of the list object that we have created. So list1.remove, I want to remove the first element 11. So I'm passing 11 as the argument to this. When this is executed, after that I am printing the list. Now 11 is removed from the list. We have only 4 elements present in the list. So in this, we have removed the first element from the list. We can even remove the elements from the other positions also. Let's now remove 44 from the list. 44 is present in the middle of the list. Even though it is present in the middle of the list, we can remove the element. Now the element 44 is removed and we are getting the remaining elements. And now I am trying to remove an element which is not present in the list. I want to remove the element 3. If you consider the list, 3 is not present. Currently, we have 22, 33, 55 in the list. When I try to remove 3 from the list, I am getting an error. The error is value error. It's saying that I am trying to remove the element X and the X is not in the list. So by means of remove, we can specify which element has to be removed from the list. So the next method is pop method. In case of the pop method, it will always remove the element from the end of the list by default. So here, I'm not specifying any argument to the list. When I execute this, it is going to remove the last element from the list. Currently, list is having 22, 33, and 55. So 55 is removed from the list. And when I print the list, I'm getting the two elements, 22 and 33. And in this, we have not specified any argument to the pop function. We can even specify the index as argument to the pop function. Suppose if I specify the index to the pop as 1, it is going to remove the element that is present at the index 1. So now 22 is at the index 0 and 33 at the index 1. So 33 will be off from the list. And currently, the list will contain only one element, 22. Now let's see how to remove the elements with the help of del keyword. Let me initialize a list with totally 7 items as given here. Now I am going to remove one item at a time from the list by means of the del keyword. So for this, del keyword is used, followed by which element has to be deleted. Now I want to delete the element present at the index 2. So I'm specifying list 1 of 2. So that means 33 will be deleted from the list. When I print the remaining elements in the list, I am getting the list without 33. By using del keyword, we can even specify a range of elements. So we have to specify del followed by list 1. Then within square brackets, specify the range of elements. So range will have the starting value and then ending value, index values. So here I am specifying the starting index as 1 and ending as 3. Therefore, it will delete the elements which are present at the index 1 and 2. So currently in this list, at the index 1, we have 22. At the index 2, we have 44. So these two will be deleted. After this, when I print, I am getting only 4 elements in the list. Then I am trying to delete the entire list from the memory. That is possible with the del keyword. So when I give del list 1, the complete list will be removed from the memory. So after that, I am trying to print the list 1. Now the list is not existing in the memory. Therefore, I am getting name error. So the name error is nothing but list 1 is not defined. It was there before, but we have completely deleted it from the memory. So now it is saying that the list is not defined. And the next method is by means of clear. So let us assume list 1 with the 7 values. Now I am trying to write list 1 dot clear. Now here what is going to happen is all the elements in the list will be removed, but the list will be still existing in the memory. The empty list will be existing in the memory. So when I print the list, I am getting now empty list. In case of del, when we use the keyword del, the list will be completely removed from the memory. After that, when we try to print, we got an error. But here, still the list is existing, but only the contents are cleared. So we are getting empty list printed in the output. And without calling these built-in methods, we can also delete the items in a list by assigning an empty list to a slice of elements. That is nothing but range of elements. Let's see how to do this one. So currently my list is having 7 elements as given here. I am trying to now remove the elements which are present in the index 2 and 3. So therefore I have to specify the slicing range. The starting range is 2 and ending range is 4 because I want to remove up to 3. So I am specifying now list 1 of 2:4 is equal to empty list. When I try to do this, it is going to remove the elements which are present at the index 2 and 3. The removal in the sense they are now replaced with empty list. Therefore, 33 and then 44 will be replaced with empty list. That means they are removed. So we have the remaining elements 11, 22, 55, 66 and then 77. So in this video, we have seen how to perform various list operations like adding elements to the list, modifying the elements, and then removing the elements from the list. In the next video, we will focus on other list methods.